Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, gentlemen, for being here today. We appreciate your presence. Let me ask you, Dr. Mori-Rosso, getting back to January 28th, when the motion was made to consolidate some powers, do you think that was a pretty significant motion that was made that day? A pretty significant change, would you agree?
The only thing that was different about the meeting that we have in January 28 is that I have a clear majority that was back in a position. That was the only thing that was especially different.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
That I have a majority on the position that was presented in a motion. That was the only thing that was different in the...
I'm talking about the change that was made. The change, was it significant? Would you consider
Yeah, the change, of course,
okay,
it was
okay.
significant, yes.
Who made it? Who made the motion?
This is a process of 4.5 years of discussion on the governance of the agency that we have.
Who made the motion?
The motion was made by Board Member Ehrlich.
By Mr. Ehrlich.
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich, let me ask you, you made that motion on January 28th, right?
Yes, sir.
When did you join the board?
I was appointed in December of 2014.
You were appointed in December of 2014, and then you made what is admittedly, by the director, a significant motion, a significant change. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's pretty quick. You're pretty aggressive there. Let me ask you, you were appointed. Who appointed you? How did you get appointed?
I was nominated by the president, confirmed by the Senate.
Okay.
Appointed by the president.
And during that confirmation process, did you ever discuss what you, I mean, obviously you've been thinking about doing this. Did you ever discuss that?
Well, yes, I did. I watched what was going on when I came in. I did a lot of reading. I was provided with a lot of information before I came to Washington. And I saw this as an opportunity, as you do, for example, in a business environment, to fix some things that didn't appear correct and clear the slate for Mr. Engler and I to move forward in June.
Did you discuss it with anyone before you made such a significant motion?
I did. I discussed it internally, yeah.
Internally? With who?
With the chair, with the managing director, few of the people in the organization, staff members.
So you did discuss it with the chair that you were going to make this motion, and I assume he was in agreement with that?
Yes, sir.
Was anyone in opposition to it? Did you talk to anyone who said, no, I don't think that's a good idea?
I did not.
Okay, but you went ahead with it anyway.
I did.
You know, again, I find that significant, to say the least. Did anyone help you with it, or you just came up with that on your own?
Well, no, I got help internally to put some of the verbiage together, yes.
Who helped you?
Managing director, general counsel, the chair. I talked to some of the senior investigators, or one of the senior investigators.
So the chair did help you in crafting this motion?
At some level, yes, sir.
You know, that's pretty significant. It seems so. Would you say that you had an agenda when you came on the board?
Well, I had an agenda to the extent that I wanted to see the board, I wanted to see the agency function more smoothly. I wanted rules and regulations that were up to date. I wanted to apply a business model from my executive management that would help.
Okay, but were you aware of what existed at the time? I mean, after only 3 weeks, I'm not sure how aware you could have been. And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about the morale of the employees, about what has obviously here been described as a very, very disruptive workforce.
I have, and yes, I had talked to a number of employees in that period of time. And I understand where some of the problems were. And I felt that we could take action at the time, at the board meeting, since it was the only one, or the community meeting, since it's the only one scheduled, to correct some of the issues and move forward and clean
So,
the slate.
so understanding that a lot of the concern among the workforce and in the workplace was that of the director, instead you made a motion to give him even more power.
Sir, I never, when I talk to people, first of all, it didn't give him any more power. He's not going to be there. It gave Mr. Engler and I the ability to, and future chairs for power. I never talked to anybody in the organization that had anything negative to say to me about the chair. They had things to say about communication. There was no finger pointing as to who was responsible or not. They had issues about the fact that we need to work on a protocol and a style guide. All of these things, I would assume, had been discussed on Mr. Griffin's shift.
You would assume.
Well, I know some of them were discussed, yes, okay? And just to clarify an issue from before, Mr. Engler and I had a discussion about going back and looking, for example, at an HF issue. In fact, we talked about how the research would be done on it, because I understood that that created some issues. So we agreed that we were going to look at it and decide how we could move forward collegially.